Welcome back to the Skid Factory. It's the future. I've got no beard and we're halfway through the next project. But first, you've got to watch the last episode of the Volvo. It's a tearjerker, so get into it. Oi, Marty, can I have a go at that hoverboard? The fuel system is complete. I've powered up the pump and checked for leaks and it's all good. You can see this is the filter area and halfway up the car there's a transmission there. I've actually put the fuel pressure regulator here because that's where the return line a joiner in the return line was, so I've replaced what used to be a fuel pump with the GFB FXR fuel pressure reg. It's all dash 6 hose except for the return line there, so everything's working good. I've used the original saddles that used to hold the pipe that was on there, and that goes up the top. A bit of heat shielding there where the exhaust pipe will be here, although it will come down and go across the other side, so it's all good. I can bolt that up. I've done the fuel pressure setting. It's set to 4 bar, so it's obviously not going to run a boost reference to it. That's how the Fairlane was previously set up, and we had no issues with that at the power level that he was at, which was more than this will probably make, so just sort of keeps it a bit neater, not having multiple lines up in the engine bay. So I'll bolt that back up to the floor and then I'll think about making an exhaust, I think. Alright, we're getting close to having this thing done, which is good. As you can see, I've done the front half of the exhaust is all done. And I've tacked up the rear. It's all sort of done all the way to the back, but I've got to pull it off and weld it. So you can see I've used a bracket on the back of the transmission there, the same as we did on the Tirana. It's the same transmission basically, and we've got this sort of underpass setup going on here, so I made another bracket that goes on the bell housing there. Those bell housing bolt holes are actually originally an exhaust support for each side of the V8 header pipes. So got a cat, it's got one muffler in the back here. On a funny angle, but that's just Volvo things. I've used the original mounting stuff, just chopped up and modified the bracket. It was a sort of a clamp bracket, but I just welded it onto the muffler, and I got the old double 90-degree tip that Volvo's had on them in 3" now, with just a stainless bit at the end. So tape that up. So it's nearly ready to go. My last job, apart from tuning and stuff, is changing the valve body and making a little controller for the transmission. So we're getting real close, and we're also running out of time. I think it's Justin's birthday tomorrow, so we've got a few days after that before he gets the car revealed to him, so very happy with the progress. Much easier than working on that Tirana, that's for sure. Alright, I'm going to get finished welding and painting, and then the exhaust is done. Pretty much down to the last job now, and that is the valve body and auto wiring. It's going to be manually shifted, which is what we do to pretty much every A340 once you get rid of the factory ECU. So how we do that is, this valve body is what we call a 3 solenoid valve body. The one that's in the vehicle's got 4 or 5. To do the manual shifting control properly, you have to revert back to this older style or simpler style valve body, because that's got all these, it's got solenoids that soften the shift and stuff like that, and as far as I know, no one's worked out how to get rid of that. So you can manualise them, but what happens is that the delay in shifting is like you click it and wait 5 seconds and then it changes gears. And you've got to pull power out while that happens, so it doesn't really work. So we go back to these. These are old MX-83s and like 7M. Most of the early 1JZs had this, and a lot of commercial vehicles like Hilux Utes and stuff still have them. So this has been shift kitted, or it's been pulled down by my mate Brian Hughes from Brian Hughes Automotive up in Gympie. He's a bit of a A340 guru. He's spent years trying to make them work in off-road racing trucks where they break stuff all the time. So he's got this valve body out of something, I don't know what it is. It's got a strange looking connector on it, so it might be out of a Hilux or something I've never seen. He basically pulls them apart and modifies the separator plates or something. I don't really know what he does, but it makes it so it's got a firm shift, so you don't get any delay, which wrecks the gearboxes. Then what we do is make a circuit that turns these solenoids on at the appropriate time via the gear shifter. So it's actually fairly simple. How these transmissions work is 2 of these solenoids are for shifting and the other one is for the torque converter lockup. So the shift solenoids are the ones we're sort of primarily interested in. So there's 2 of them, so you get 4 combinations out of those 2 solenoids of on and off. So one on is first, both on is second, the other one on is third, and none of them on is fourth. So what we do is use the park neutral or inhibitor switch to power them up with the shifter. So there's a couple of diodes in here which I've wrapped up in the loom that prevent backfeeding when you're going into the 2 solenoids on. It prevents, because you're linking them up, it prevents backfeeding that would basically just turn them all on all the time. So other than that, it's pretty simple. If you just Google manualised A340, a diagram will come up that a guy made years ago. Basically explains it pretty simply. So I've already done that. This goes out to inside the car. We've got power, torque converter lockup, which is just powered via a switch, and we've got 2 wires that go to a switch for 4th gear. Those 2 wires basically cut. When you're in third, there's no 4th position on the shifter. There's only 3 positions, and then you use a switch for overdrive. And what that does is it basically cuts the circuit. The circuit complete is 3rd gear, the circuit cut is 4th gear. So it's fairly simple. It does take a little bit of thinking about to get it done, but I've done it heaps of times. It works fine. You can buy this commercially, comes in a box with instructions and stuff. So it's a lot easier to do that, obviously, but if you know electronics and how diodes work and stuff like that, you can easily make it yourself. So I've just drained the oil, going to drop the pan, we're going to pull that valve body out. The other valve body is about this long, or this long. It's a full length one. So when we put this one in, it's got a couple of transfer pipes that transfer oil that have got to be added. Otherwise it just bolts in. So the A340 transmission case is used in heaps of different applications, and the case and stuff is pretty much the same. I've swapped valve bodies out of across all different types of A340 and they all bolt up and they all work. So it's a pretty cool gearbox in that regard. So now I think it's just down to me taking a couple of cutaways for Woody to edit with, and then I'll start getting oil up my armpits, which is always fun. I've replaced the Volvo with the Fairlane. Volvo made its first journey outside. You probably can't see it because it's too bright. And Reese is here. Reese is a long-term friend of Justin's from way back, and he's also a mad detailer. Loves a bit of auto glim action.
That's all right.
So Reese is going to
nice and shiny.
He's going to detail the car and make it shiny, and I'm going to get it ready for maybe a maiden voyage and also obviously a handover at some point whenever we organise it. Reese is a bit of a car guy. He's got a little Mazda 1000 Ute, which is pretty cool. And also a JZX, no, what is it? 1JZ powered IS200.
It's true.
Which is a good thing.
That's the shiny one.
Yeah.
Not this one.
Looks all right.
Yeah, you're a long way away. So.
Yeah. Is that the key? Oh, this is some terrible camera work going on here.
Good from afar, but far from good.
You know, the Volvo's going to be schmick, so that's all
It's
that
going to
matters.
be mint.
All right, let's get cleaning. Ultra good.
We'll probably end up chucking a diff in this thing at some stage, I imagine.
Lee, the brains behind this whole project, mate. How are ya?
Good.
You're a bloody good mate doing this, tell you what. How good is it? How good is it helping out your friends, Alan?
Yeah, well, if you can't help your mates out, you must be an arsehole. What's with this stupid stub thing that makes it so you can only put it on one way?
Is it?
Yeah. We're just about ready for Justin to find out what we've done to his car. Got a little crew of relevant people here. The car's all good to go. Reese has polished it, made it look nice and stuff, as good as it can. Got some new tyres on it because it'll probably need them. Probably one back one, a lot more than the rest. Lee bought them down. He's got a tyre shop. It's running pretty sweet. We took it for a drive yesterday. It works. Sounds like a 79 series Land Cruiser, but you get that.
I'll give it a rev.
Just wanted to mention a few people / companies that have helped out. Obviously GFB Raceworks have supplied quite a lot of stuff for it just because they're good guys. Haltech, of course. There's probably a lot of other people too, but obviously Reese, Patrick, Lee. We got Ash here taking some photos of the whole thing.
What about Kirsten?
And this fool here.
What about Kirsten and Norman?
Oh yeah, of course, Golby's. Yeah, they had their usual high amount of input in it. And
Did you mention Lee?
yeah, it made it easier for me to get it done in time. So we've had a sort of maybe a 6-week time frame for this part-time. It's always been hidden outside while we're working on the Tirana because otherwise Justin would see it because he is obviously a skid factory watcher.
To the point where the spare wheel was in the background of the whole episode, we had to refilm it.
So it's great to have got this done. It's a good thing to do something nice for someone.
Hell yeah.
Keep that in mind. It's not all
Right.
about... It's giving the present is better than receiving it.
Let's grab a lemon squash and meet the crew, eh?
All right. This is everyone involved with the build. Mastermind and Justin's partner. mates,
It's
contributors, also mates. We're all Justin's mates, so we wouldn't be doing this if we weren't. We're just waiting for him to arrive patiently and having a few lemon squashes. So when he gets here, we'll just swing the big door open and see what happens.
Do you reckon there'll be any tears?
Probably not from Justin. I'm thinking I know who's going to be the teary one. We'll see. Yo. Hey, Jazzy.
What's going on?
How are you?
Hey, big man. How you going?
Good, mate. How you going?
I'm broken, they fixed it.
This is crazy. James, everyone's here.
Come see what they did.
Get in there. Get in
Supplies.
Bitches.
Just start her up, bro.
Oh, hang on. You got it. It doesn't even. It could be standard stuff.
Yeah, it's-
If it's in here,
Smoky, some work at pushing outside. Good stuff.
You remember how to open the bonnet?
no.
It's not easy.
It's hidden up under the.
This is your first lesson, is that it's really hard to get the bonnet open now? Because there's an intercooler there and I had to cut that down to make it fit. Is this what you were expecting today?
I had suspicions about what was going on. Right.
Are you happy?
Yes.
That's the main thing.
Wow. So what have we?
So this is the mastermind of your partner, right?
Yeah.
We're just the slaves.
Right.
Or her.
I'm blown away.
I think you need to do a celebratory shed skid. and seeing as how
It'll do it easy because it's single feeling.
Yeah, right.
seeing as how we never do skids, I reckon you can go
Since when do you never do skids?
go hard out.
That's what
with
the
it.
internet said.
Do a better one than what Alan would do anyway.
So we're... The engine light's gone. Yeah?
It doesn't have one, so you don't have to worry.
Are we skidding it?
Yeah. Like that.
Just like
That wasn't even a boost.
no.
I can't get that stupid thing to go, out there.
Did you try putting water in the
I
washer?
put water in there.
You need an LSD in there, mate.
I know, right? It's coming.
It would have skidded too at the start.
Go again, Jazzy. Go again.
Go again.
Yeah. Just go from there.
Just did 120. Patrick's stick-on frame didn't work very well. He forgot about the fact that you have to change gears. So I flicked it into second. He's like, "Oh, what happened?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing. Keep going." Then I put it into third. It's like 120.
Didn't do that stop.
That's more like it. Just they're good pictures, these ones.
Oh, listen to the haters.
Say that again.
That's the best skid I've ever seen on the Skid Factory.
I think that's sealed the deal. It's handed over now, so concrete warranty is gone. Big thanks to everyone involved. Wasn't just me, especially Anne, because it was her idea. So, well done. Reese and Lee and Paddy for helping me out. That was excellent as well. And Juzzy for being a good sport, because it was a pretty big surprise for him. Thanks to our sponsors who have helped us out with parts. Raceworks, Haltech, JFB, who else?
I can't remember.
All of them. Thanks a lot. This was a pretty different thing for us to do, but it just sounded like a good idea at the time, so I got on board with it. And remember, it's better to give a gift than receive one.
You're a good bloke, Alan.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. What you doing? No idea what I'm doing. If I could see good, that would be better.
Juzzy's Volvo is all finished. He's driven off into the sunset and he's loving the car. We are probably about a quarter of the way through the next project. So you're gonna have to wait a couple of weeks to see this one. We've got a couple of videos coming out in the meantime. Click up in the corners to buy some merchandise, watch other videos and subscribe. That does us a huge favour. Thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.